let's get more into the concept of free will.
Okay.
People apparently think they have free will, and from their point of view as a human being on Earth, yeah, they kind of do. But when you get really into the infinite, or what your real nature is, you find out that's just not the case at all.
So what you think you even know is just not really the case either.
Thinking seems to be the problem.
Yes. Yeah.
Thinking leads you to a bunch of logical conclusions that you end up with the Earth. And then you try to explain it, and you drive yourself crazy, and you know.
I think you once mentioned how we, what we think is kind of what we are too. What we consume our thoughts with is what we become, or what we...
What you really are is eternal, and it doesn't really change. Your thoughts change. Like the trash floating on top of the sea changes. That's so thoughts change. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. That's very good. Okay, I feel more explanated, comfortable about that.
Okay, what's the next one?
The next one is revolving around ego. And,
what?
Is there...
What revolves around the ego other than everything
is there a
that
way,
we think exists that really doesn't?
Is there a way, I guess, to surrender to it? And does that...
Does
that make sense?
Surrender to the ego? Oh, that's...
Yeah. You know, I mean, like, I wouldn't say control it.
Well, I just say give up Dorothy and, you know, buy into the Wicked Witch and... I don't know. Give into the ego? Surrender to the ego?
Does that make sense?
Oh, that's scary.
Okay. Well,
surrender to God, yeah. To the ego, no, that puppy you want dead.
Right, right.
And surrendering to it just, oh my.
So we all have one. Well, okay.
Well, that's why we exist.
So surrender.
Appear to exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly the wrong word, I suppose.
Well, words don't work.
I wouldn't want to surrender and be just egotistical all the time. Absolutely not.
Well, what else would surrendering to the ego be, my dear?
What else would that mean? What the hell do I mean?
Yes.
Is there a way to try to let your ego go more?
No, the only thing you do is kill it.
And how can you kill it?
By chopping it off at the root and just looking into it. Look into the mind. Search for the ego, search for the mind. They run away.
Sort of a moment that you have a thought, you can kind of catch yourself and kill it right then and there and stop.
If you have a thought, which you do all the time, you should recognize that you're having a thought. Who is having this thought? I am having this thought. Who am I? And then you contemplate, who am I? And you just hold on to I. And if you find contemplating I hard, you just go in your head, I. And you just hold on to that. And when a thought comes up, you just do the same thing and bring it back again to I. And that's being, and that's purity. And once you're there, it just fills up with love. It's what God is. And us Westerners have problems with this because it's out and out heresy.
Out and out heresy?
Yeah, yeah. It's like saying, I am Jehovah.
Okay.
Hindus have no problem with Shiva Ham, I am Shiva. But, you know, you go to a good Hebraic community and tell them you're Yahweh and see how far you get.
I don't even know what those mean, Yahweh.
Yahweh is, you can get stoned for saying it in the old days. It's the name of God.
Okay.
Yad-He, Vad-He, got corrupted and became what the Christians call Jehovah. Same thing.
Okay, okay. Yes, I'm learning about all those things.
Yeah.
Ignorant to some of it. But
oh, nothing wrong with that.
Thank you.
No.
Well, I am going to try that, ladies and gentlemen. Just come back to the I. I already sort of mentioned this, but like, are we only but what we contemplate on or think about? And you sort of gave an answer.
Are you only what you think about and contemplate on? No, you're in what situation you find yourself stuck in. And you put on a different mask for each person you deal with. And so each person you're dealing with, you become an entirely different person.
And that's normal.
And you switch.
Right?
Yeah, it's very normal.
Yeah.
But people don't think they're doing it.
It's
They think they're the same all the time, and they're not.
We reflect others when we're around
Yeah.
others.
Somebody you just met, you're one person. To your mother, you're another person. To your husband, you're another person. To the idiot down the street, you're somebody else. You're just put on these different masks, these different personas.
That is very interesting.
And then we get to think that's what we really are, and that's not what we are. That's what our ego tells us we are.
That's what everyone's perceptions see as us.
No, you don't go to what everybody's perception is. Leave them out of it. You're just dealing with you.
Right.
You made up.
Right.
You made them up in
my
here.
head, too.
They may correlate to what you see and think, and they may have perceptions when you're asleep, but don't go there because it's just this world pulling you into it. The idea is to pull yourself out of it and focus in on the self.
Detach and become uninvolved. Yes.
Yeah, become uninvolved.
Uninvolved.
Let the body be involved, you become uninvolved. Which means when you go to work and you do a job, do the job, but don't do it for the paycheck. Just do it for the sheer pleasure of doing the job and getting it over with it, and do your best to enjoy what you're doing, and don't expect a damn thing. And then everything that comes, just receive it as God's grace. Then everything goes pretty darn good that way. But if you have expectations, you want this and you want that, welcome to hell.
Yes.